Unit 2, Lesson 2, for Day 1, Slopes of Parallel and Perpendicular Lines. Objectives. Show that two lines in the coordinate plane are parallel by comparing their slopes and solve problems. Show that two lines in the coordinate plane are perpendicular by comparing their slopes and use that information to solve problems. Classifying slope. If it rises up to the right, that is a positive slope, like driving up a side of a mountain. Down to the right is a negative slope. That's when you're going down. Horizontal line has a slope of 0, and a vertical line slope is undefined. Slope. The letter we use to represent slope is M, and that's equal to, those are the Greek letter delta. That means change in y over change in x. And to calculate that, using the two points listed there, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. If it's graphed, it's rise, the up or down, and run, the left or right. Positive changes is up and to the right. Negative changes are down and to the left. This slope, they're rising 2 and running 3. That's a slope of 2/3. Plus, they pointed out the y-intercept right there at the point 0, 1. Graphs. Rise over run. Up 4. Count right 5. And that gives us a slope of 4/5. Next one, we're going down 3 and right 6. That is negative 3 over 6, and that reduces to negative 1/2. Make sure it's always in simplest form. Ordered pairs, we're going to need to use a formula. So we have to subtract the y's on top, subtract the x's on bottom. So negative 1 minus 5 over 6 minus negative 2. Simplify, we get negative 3/4. Next one, change in y over the change in x's. So 7 minus negative 3 over negative 6 minus negative 11. Be careful with all the minus and negative signs. You get 10 over 5, which is 2. Here's another one. That's a vertical line. That slope is undefined. The x values are always the same. The equation for that particular line is x equals 1 because every single point on that line has an x value of 1. This is a horizontal line. It has a slope of 0, and all the y values are the same. The equation for that particular line is y equals 4. Every single point on that line has a y value of 4. Let's use our formulas. Subtract the y's, subtract the x's. Y's on top, x's on bottom. 2 minus negative 4, 9 minus 9. Can't divide by 0, so that's undefined. Change in y's over change in x's. Negative 3 minus negative 3, 0 minus negative 7. 0 on top is 0, and a slope of 0 is a horizontal line. Identifying slopes of graphed lines. Find the slope of the following graphed lines. Give answers in simplified fraction. Remember, that's rise over run. They have 2 points on the line. We are going to go up 2 and right 6. That's 2 over 6 reduces to 1/3. Next one, down 10, right 4. That also simplifies to negative 5/2. Up 8, right 2. 8 over 2 simplifies to 4. Down 7, right 7. Negative 7 over 7 reduces to negative 1. This is a horizontal line. There's no rise. Our slope is 0. Next one, up 4, right 7, slope is 4, 7. Now let's calculate it using our formula. Change in y over change in x. So 4 minus negative 11, 17 minus negative 8. Put it in Desmos. It gives you the answer right away. If it doesn't give you a fraction, just go on the left of that line and select it, and it'll change it to a fraction for you. Change in y's over change in x. 7 minus negative 7 over 5 minus negative 6. Put it in Desmos. We get 0. Change in y over change in x. 5 minus negative 2. 10 minus 10. Desmos actually tells you it's undefined. A graphing calculator is going to give you an error message because you can't divide by 0. Change in y over change in x. Negative 16 minus negative 12. 1 minus negative 7. Put it in Desmos. It automatically gives you the answer of negative 1/2. Change in y over change in x. Negative 4 minus negative 11. Negative 2 minus 1. Put it in Desmos. You get negative 7 over 3. Parallel lines and perpendicular lines. Parallel lines have the same slope, equal slopes. Perpendicular lines have negative reciprocal slopes. That means they change the sign and flip. So if we have, for example, 3/4, change the sign and flip it upside down, the negative reciprocal is negative 4/3. 2 is a whole number, so it might be easier if you put it over 1 so that you change the sign to negative, and then when you flip it, you get 1/2. 3, negative 7, 8. So it's going to change to positive, and 8 will be on top and 7 on bottom. Flip 1, you get 1, but change the sign to negative 1. 0 is for a horizontal line. Undefined would be perpendicular to it because that would be a vertical line. Use the slope to determine if line AB and CD are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Show I'll work. We're going to do the change in y again over the change in x. First one is line AB. So 6 minus 3 over 2 minus negative 2. That is going to give us 3/4. For line CD, 3 minus 0 over 3 minus negative 1 also gives us 3/4, which means the lines are parallel because the slopes are the same. Problem number 2. Change in y over change in x. 4 minus 2 over 5 minus 0 is 2/5. Let's do line CD. Change in y over change in x. 3 minus 8 over 3 minus 1. Negative 2/5. Opposite sign and flip. That would be perpendicular. Number 3, line AB, the slope of that. Change in y over change in x. 6 minus 8 over 2 minus negative 1. We get negative 2/3. Slope of line CD, change in y over change in x. 3 minus 2 over 3 minus negative 1. We get 1/4. That they're not equal or negative reciprocal, so that's neither. Line AB, change in y over change in x. 4 minus 3 over negative 1 minus 2. We get negative 1/3. Line CD, change in y over change in x. 6 minus 3 over negative 4 minus negative 5. That's 3 over 1, simplifies to 3. They are opposite signs and flips. So they are perpendicular. Mastery Connect examples practice. Which equation represents a line? Here's our line. The equation of that horizontal line that they gave us is y equals 3. We want it perpendicular to that line that's graphed. These two are horizontal lines. They're not going to be perpendicular, so it can't be C or D. Let's continue. It's got to pass through the point -8, 9. -8 is the x value. And a vertical line, all the x values are the same. So the equation for that vertical line must be x equals -8. Mastery Connect example, point D, right there, the point -1, 3, lies on a line parallel to segment AB. Segment AB is vertical. Parallel has the same slope. So here's a vertical line through that point. The actual equation for that is x equals -1. And any point with an x value of -1 is on that line. We need to figure out which point falls on this parallel line. So it has to have an x value of -1. It's going to be B. Another Mastery Connect example. On the lines graph below, points are identified as -2, 1, 2, -2, and -1, -6. Which phrase describes the lines on the graph? Well, they're not parallel because they intersect, so we know it's not those two. We have to figure out if they're perpendicular or not, because that's the difference between A and B. So let's look at slopes. Down 3 over 4, so the slope of that line is -3/4. Let's do the other one. Down 4, left 3, so that's -4 over -3, which is 4/3. They are perpendicular. They're negative reciprocals of each other. That is B.